What's up guys, it's Luke. This isn't one of those flashy hype videos. I just want to break down what it really takes to pull in $450,000 in a single month with e-commerce. This isn't theory or screenshots. This is from my own Amazon FBA store. I'm going to walk you through how I source products, the systems behind the business, how I reinvest, and how I keep scaling long term. If you're serious about taking this game to the next level, lock in for a few minutes. I'll show you exactly how I run it. All right guys, so we're here with our Amazon dashboard. This is our sales from the month of September. On the 1st of September to the 30th, we sold about 10,000 units, and this did about 448K in sales. Our average sales price was around $44, which is great. It's about mid-ticket, helps you scale easier. 10,000 units times this number gets us this number right here. Cool. So let's go look at what actually matters and see how much profit we made behind this big number. So I use InventoryLab to track my profits, and that is the software I've always used. Most people use Seller Board, but this is what I was taught as a new seller, and this is what people were using in the space at the time. It's always been good to me. I've never had an issue, and it's easy to incorporate with my CPA and my accounting, and my repricer plugs into this as well. So let's go over to InventoryLab and see what we're working with. So down here, we did about $80,000 in profit. Now it's going to say 20% right here because it's calculating off of actual data only that InventoryLab gets. So this is pulling reports directly from Amazon. I don't put anything but my buy cost into this software. I put my FBM shipping costs in, my inbound freight in, I do that, my buy cost, and my other expenses. So after all expenses, we have made around $80,000. And just for credentials, so you know I'm not doing inspect element or some crazy nonsense to try to prove something that I didn't do, let's go ahead and refresh our sales dashboard as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do custom. As you can see, our sales today are $16,627. Not a bad day, but that doesn't matter. Let's go to custom. We're going to go all the way back to September. Plug that in. Boom, we get the same exact number. Now to get this number, you're probably wondering by now, what business model am I doing? So I'm not doing a ton of wholesale. I am primarily online arbitrage. I buy products from everyday websites, Walmart, Kohl's, Target, Walgreens, and many more sites. That's just the bare bones sites that everybody knows. We have hundreds of sites that we source from every single day, and we have a team of 4 VAs that source through these websites and find the profitable products for us, along with doing our own sourcing work on the side, such as doing A to A, price errors, or other niche flips. And 90% of that is online arbitrage, and 10% of these sales come from wholesale. As for prep, I do not prep myself. I actually have 2 employees that are in the warehouse, and they fully prep everything they receive. They prep, they clean the warehouse, they build pallets, ship them out. Everything is hands off. They do FBMs. So that's the best way to scale. You need to be hands off prep. So in reality, the back end is fully systemized, and we can keep pushing without having to put our time towards the lower ROI tasks, and we can focus our time on things that are going to allow us to scale even harder. Now, if you're a new seller, you don't need a bunch of employees. You don't need a bunch of VAs. I didn't hire my first in-person employee until last year. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and I didn't hire VAs until I was doing about 30 to 40,000 in revenue per month. As a beginner, you want to get the ropes down, learn every part of the business so you can efficiently teach this to employees and delegate these tasks, but you still need to understand these specific tasks so things don't go wrong and then it backfires and you don't know how to solve the issue. But in order to do these really big months, these crazy numbers, big profit, you cannot do this without volume and structure. Now, the side hustle stuff is only going to cap at 30 to 50K. And now if you're happy with that, that's great. You can still make some really good money on the side, but if you're looking to push big numbers and change your life with big numbers of profit, it's not going to cut it. You need to treat it like a business and run it full time. And remember, this is a data game. Everything's data-based. We're constantly tracking data in online arbitrage and analyzing all these data points so we can make profitable buying decisions all throughout the year. Then what we're doing with most of our profits is we're taking that and injecting it back into the business so we can continue to grow month on month. Okay, so I know I talk about this a lot. It's sourcing. The reason I talk about sourcing so much is because product research is the foundation of your business. Without good product research, you will never be able to find enough products to fill your storefront with and scale. You need to master product research and be become an expert at this so you can always pick out the best products, avoid the products that are going to tank or sell for a loss, and focus on the things that are going to allow you to keep building profits and scale. So the best sourcing technique right now is probably going to be reverse sourcing for beginners. Now, even if you're not a beginner, there are levels to reverse sourcing, and it is not one of those sourcing methods that suck or aren't good. I know I hear a lot of people in the space say that. I don't know why. It's just their methodology behind the reverse sourcing, but that's for another video. But I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean in finding products that can make you a ton of money, and all we have to do is rinse and repeat this process. So right here we have these Breaks Peppermint Crisp Mint Nougats 9-ounce. So we can see that this is a Christmas item. This is highly seasonal. Now, it only sells 100 times a month right now, and we do see some offers crawling up, but we can see a trend in the BSR. It's going down. That is a good indicator that this is a good product. Now, what we want to do, since this is a seasonal product, we want to look at how it performed last year. So let's zoom out to the yearly chart, and we can see that this absolutely flew 2,000 times a month during peak season. Wow, that's amazing. With only 21 offers, and it sat around $9.99 the entire time. So the price was stable. And then, of course, after Christmas, people were trying to get rid of these. Nobody's really buying Christmas candy anymore. So the price drops, people get rid of them. Then it doesn't sell all year, and then it does the same thing again. All you have to do is find a product like this, run a quick Google search on SellerAmp, and we see this product come up a couple times. So we can see on Walmart, it's $4.32. You can't use codes on Walmart, but we're going to try to get this a little cheaper. We see this, it says 7-ounce, but we're just going to double check that. That's a 7-ounce bag. We cannot do that. Too small. Let's just keep looking for a second. Scroll down. Okay. Oh, okay. There's an 11-ounce on Target. Okay, so here we have it on Target. It's the exact same thing. This looks like old packaging. They probably don't make this anymore, so this is most likely going to be okay. We'll get into that and do some more research after. We just got to figure out the price. Let's put it on shipping because we don't want to have to go to the store. We can scroll down and see it's buy one, get one 50% off. Then they also have another little coupon, but this isn't scalable. It's a one-time use, so we're not going to calculate with that. So we already added 10 to cart, and let's go check it out and see how much this is. So with tax and everything, this thing's about $35.73 for 10 units. This also ships for free. So let's include tax just for the sake of the video, divided by 10. So we got $3.57. Cool. It's selling for $12.99 right now. That's great. We can expect it to go down to $9.99 based on the Keepa. So what we like to do is check that out. Now it's still 34% ROI, which is fantastic. This is a volume play. If we can sell 200 of these, we can easily make $250. So what we're going to do here is go down to the Amazon reviews and just check this out, see what people are getting. Oh, someone wasn't happy they got the 7-ounce. Don't give the customer less. I don't see anyone talking about the 11-ounce bag. People just saying overpriced, taste is great, came hard as a rock, hard as a rock. People probably sold expired candy. Cool. Now, a couple things we want to look at that why this is such a good product. We see a healthy buy box rotation, rotating between multiple sellers. Based on last year, there was crazy volume in December and January, and we are early to this play. It really doesn't start taking off till the beginning of December. So we still have about 2 weeks until we can really make a play on this and sell a lot of units. We might be able to sneak in a small FBA shipment, but most likely we're going to be FBMing this. So now that we know that this product is profitable, what we can do is use my sourcing strategy, and I like to call this reverse sourcing the smart sellers. So we can take all the sellers from last year, right? And we're targeting online arbitrage sellers, not wholesale. So we can scroll in and see who got the buy box at any point in time when we hover over this stuff. We're looking for sellers that are under 200 reviews. So these sellers right here with 5,000, 21,000, 33,000, they're all wholesalers. Now we can still compete with them because we're profitable at $9.99. We can see how they compete, and we are still profitable at every price they have driven it to. So this person right here is a great example. They have 69 reviews. We can pop open their storefront and then source exactly what they have. Now it looks like this seller doesn't have any products in their storefront. They might have stopped selling on Amazon, but that's okay. We can keep looking and find another seller. If that method doesn't work, we can go to buy box statistics in Keepa and see who got the buy box in the last 90 days, sort by reviews, and source the smaller sellers. Now, a pro tip for Q4. If you're starting to find leads, start reverse sourcing the FBM sellers and track their storefronts. The lead time from someone buying an FBM lead and listing in their storefront is much less than someone buying a lead and sending it an FBA, and then it checks in maybe 2-3 weeks later. You're way behind the game. But if you reverse source the FBM sellers, you still might be able to squeeze yourself in on that deal, or even find some more seasonal stuff you can move. So in order to scale this, one thing I noticed notice is a lot of people aren't going deep enough on their ASINs. People are still in the mentality of test buy 10, buy 20, buy 10% of how many it's selling per month, but that just shows that you need a better understanding of the data. Once we break this data down, if we bought at face value 100 plus with 10 offers, we can only technically move 10, but if we bought 10% of that sales badge, but if we look at that data and go back in time, 21 offers for 2,000, I think we could move anywhere from 1 to 200 units. Me personally, this is a low buy cost item. I would go on the heavier side and buy 200 units. I would even go as far as sending an Amazon optimized shipment, doing it a 5-way split so we don't pay placement fees and it checks in a little bit faster. So what we really need to do here is double down on the proven ASINs that we know we can move units on instead of chasing 10, 20, 30, 40 new products every single day. It's not going to help you scale when you're buying a small number of a lot of products comparing to going deep on a smaller number of products. Now, I know you've heard that saying, go wide, not deep, and this is true. But when there's an opportunity to go deep, backed by data, of course, we need to take full advantage of these opportunities. You guys are leaving so much profit on the table because you are reading the data inaccurately. Then what I like to do is I leverage my VA team. I have 4 VAs. They all source between 4 and 6 products every single day. So we're getting about 20 to 24 leads on a daily basis. And then I go through, give them feedback, and validate all of their product research and educate them further so they make better buying decisions for us. Now, our goal here is a minimum of 25 to 30% ROI. So as you can see over here, if we drop down the price to $9.99, we still meet our criteria of 30% ROI. Another criteria that I don't really talk about too much is this product needs to make me a minimum of $50 in 1 month. So if I cannot make this number right here, 122, we're not going to use the current buy box because this price will go down. We are going to use $9.99 and we're going to go down to our profit calculator. If we type in 20, if we could only sell 20 units, I would not buy this product. But if I could sell 35, it's getting close, but it looks like right around 42, that's going to be our sweet spot. So if we could sell 42 units within a 30-day time period, I would buy this product. If we can make $50 on 10 products in 1 month, that's a baseline of $500 in profit. Do this with 100 products or go deeper on more products. Make more than $50 on a single product. This is just our baseline criteria. And since this is a seasonal item, this is one of those things that I would really stockpile before this volume starts to come in. As we can see on the stock charts, a lot of these sellers don't have a ton of stock yet, except for maybe a couple, but a lot of guys are very low and they're going to end up selling out in 1 day and miss out on a ton of profit opportunity. If this kind of transparency helps, hit the like button. It helps sellers find this info. And if you want me to personally help you set up your systems and sourcing process, apply for the one-on-one mentorship. Links in the description. So in order to keep scaling, you need back-end systems. So the first thing that comes to mind when I mention back-end systems is prep. So there's 3 ways to handle your prep. In the beginning, when you're new, you do it yourself. When you start scaling, you can either get a warehouse or hire a prep center. So it's good to start doing it yourself. You want to learn the prep process inside out. If you go the warehouse route, this is where you would hire employees and build internal systems within the warehouse to process your units and get those into Amazon. Now, if you don't want to deal with all that, there's another option called a prep center, which is a warehouse that is already running. The systems are already set up. All you have to do is send your products there and they will start packing and shipping these products into Amazon for you. You will never have to see the products, touch the products, handle the products. It's all hands-free. And trust me, if you're at scale, you do not want to be prepping your products yourself. I would say you should start outsourcing your prep around 30 to 40K a month when it becomes unbearable for you to do. Or if you don't want to touch products at all, you can immediately go with a prep center so you don't have to do that kind of stuff. Now, there's pros and cons to a warehouse and a prep center, but we talk about that in another video. So the next thing is inventory tracking, which brings me to the next thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is the worksheet I personally use in my business every single day. It keeps me organized and I know when all my stuff is delivered at the warehouse. I know if anything's damaged, the guys upload pictures into here, everything I need. So I know exactly what's going on at that warehouse without being there. This is the same thing you would need to know if you use a prep center as well. If you guys want this spreadsheet to help you track your orders and data, go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's luke.rice_. You can either find that right here or go look in the description. So this is just one of our systems. The first thing that you saw in the video that I pulled up with profit and loss, that's another system that you need. That is called InventoryLab. You can also use Sellerboard. All it is a profit and loss calculator. It tracks all your expenses, your buy costs for your items, and it calculates everything based on Amazon's data and spits out your number as net profit. InventoryLab also doubles down as an inventory software software. It knows exactly how much you have on hand, FBA, FBM, etc. Whatever you plug into it, you'll have all that data stored there as well. So that's just 2 systems. Now we do have a couple more systems. We have our systems for VAs. We have our internal systems at the warehouse. We have our systems for processing reimbursements. If you can't tell by now, you need to be very organized in this business. But don't worry, I got you covered. I have templates for all of this stuff. Just go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram. Well, as you start to scale, you're going to need a repricer. People are constantly changing their price on Amazon, and you won't be able to get the buy box if you can't keep up with it. So here's just a couple repricers. I personally use SellerSnap. There's also Kohl and Aura. These are the top 3 that I know. They're all different based on what your needs are. You can go ahead and take a look at them. SellerSnap is for the more advanced sellers. Aura is right in the middle, and Kohl is for more entry-level sellers. Aura is also good for new sellers as well. Now, if you're brand new, I don't recommend getting a repricer right away. Learn to manually reprice and see what you can get the buy box without adding more expenses onto your business. Another system we have communication systems with the VAs. I run my entire VA team over Microsoft Teams, and this helps me create group chats where I can build a team environment and structure for my VAs so they work better as a team and provide better results. I have KPIs set up in place that they need to be hitting that we can track every single day to make sure the team is in a line. Lastly, financial tracking. You need to know every single cost. So backtrack to where I was talking about Sellerboard and InventoryLab. If you don't have those softwares, you are going to find yourself in a lot of trouble, and trying to manually keep your books in a Google Sheet is going to cause you a headache at the end of the year. Just get the software, get it out of the way, and let it handle it for you. Now, this brings me to my last point: reinvesting and scaling long term. Profit does not matter if you're not redeploying it. Now, this doesn't mean you can't pay yourself, because I pay myself every month. Amazon FBA is how I pay the bills, put food on the table, and get from A to B. But if you're not reinvesting a good chunk of what you're making every single month back into the business, there is no way for you to scale other than getting funding. And even if you do get funding, you're going to want that extra cash on hand to improve your cash flow and continue to scale harder than you already could. Now, I personally reinvest about 70 to 80% of every dollar that comes out of the business in profits, and the rest is for bills and other personal expenses. The best way to scale, in my opinion, is 0% APR credit cards. Now, it's okay. Most people are afraid to leverage credit. They think credit is bad, debt's bad, but listen, hear me out. The Chase Business Inc. 0% credit card is what took my Amazon FBA game to the next level. I was approved for $50,000, 0% APR for 12 months. Now, what does this mean? This means you do not have to pay interest on that credit card for 12 full months. You can make minimum payments and float the balance, so if something doesn't go as planned or you're still learning, you have time. You don't need to pay these off at the end of 30 days or at the end of your statement. This is hands down the best card for beginners, intermediate, or even advanced people. No one ever complains about 0% APR. And again, if you want to scale, you need to go deeper on the products that are already winning, not chasing after 50 new winners, but double down on the data that is proven to work. If you find an opportunity where you can buy 50 units, but you are only buying 10, this is exactly the reason why you cannot scale. I see too many people making that one mistake. They don't know how many of a product to buy. You don't want to buy too much, but you don't want to buy too little. That's okay. That's why the data is there, and we can read the data to make an informed, accurate decision and hit the nail on the head. And don't jump into hiring people first. Build the systems out on the back end first, and then put the people into the business. Lay out your systems and then put people in. Don't think that you can do this all on your own, because you can't. I thought I'm one of those people who want full control over everything, and it took everything out of me to figure out that I had to delegate if I wanted to reach my goals. The ultimate goal is to work on your business, not in your business. So that's the raw breakdown of how I did $450K in a single month with e-commerce. It's not luck, it's systems. Consistent sourcing, reinvesting, and building a team that compounds effort. If you got value from this, subscribe to the channel. I post weekly videos on exactly how to scale your Amazon FBA business the real way, no BS. And if you're ready to go deeper, hit the link below to apply for my one-on-one program. I'll walk you through the exact roadmap I use to build a 7-figure store. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.